The discussion is not about rule of law and unanimity. The dispute is going on that some, led by the Dutch, would like to introduce a new mechanism, a new instrument, which did not exist up to now. So it's not about the modification of the already existing legal scheme, make an addition or something like that. No, it's a new mechanism. The text says that this is clearly separated from any rule of law mechanism. It's a new mechanism. I think it's questionable whether it has a basis in the treaty at all. So probably the conclusion of that discussion could be that we have to create a treaty basis for that. But anyway, so it's a new mechanism. And new mechanism must be, because it's a legal mechanism, must be very well defined in terms of categories we use and the procedure as well. You know, I'm coming from an ex-communist country. How was that under the communist regime 30 years ago? You know? When the communist regime decided to attack us, even me personally, they use unclarified legal terms, exactly the same which is written in the proposal of the Dutch man. He used communist terms. He's not aware of that, but he used exactly the same one, saying general deficiencies. So when I was arrested by the police and I asked them what I have done which is illegal, and they said general deficiencies. What the hell does it mean? You know? And then the other term the Dutch guy used, the Dutch Prime Minister used in the paper is it's not necessary to do a crime or to transgress the law. If the risk is there, the procedure could be initiated. You know, the risk. That was the communist style. I have done nothing, but they said, oh, but it's risky how you behave here, you know. So these guys who inherited freedom, rule of law, and political democracy, they don't have any experience what we have who personally fought for that. So they inherited freedom. We fought for that. We have different experiences. They use terms which are dangerous because it was used against us. So, but despite this ridiculous elements of this proposal anyway, I try to take it seriously and to say, okay guys, if you would like to create a new mechanism, let's negotiate seriously in legal terms. Do it. So we are ready to do so even for days.
But otherwise, are you ready to block the whole deal if you don't find an agreement on rule of law?
It's not me. I initiated nothing in that respect. So we have to clarify that if the deal is blocked, it's not because of me, but because of the Dutch guy. Because he initiated something. So I'm standing on the status quo as it is today, in the regulation of rule of law, financial control of the budget and all that kind of thing. So I think it's okay. They would like to reach something which is not good quality enough in our understanding. So if there is a break, it's because of them, not because of me. So I don't like blame game. But the Dutch man is the real responsible man for whole mess we have.
We have a bilateral meeting with him, maybe.
Proposal, or is the same?
It depends on taste. I'm ready anyway.
Prime Minister, is it the same proposal that the Commission submitted, or the Dutch has altered it? Can you elaborate the difference, please?
It's basically was introduced by Charles Michel, based on the Commission, I think so. But the man who represents the text, sociologically, may I say, politically, is the Dutch Prime Minister. He is the fighter. Charles Michel only introduced it and said that this is a possible suggestion for a compromise and so on. The Commission said we support it, and the Dutch Prime Minister represent and fight for it. The same, may I just underline, the same Italian-Dutch match also, you know, on grant and loan ratio, which is an Italian-Dutch. So the Dutch Prime Minister is the leader of this whole dispute today. Yesterday.
So you can accept the proposition of Mr. Michel, but not the position of Mr. Rutte.
The proposal, we said that we think that we don't need that kind of new mechanism. But if you would, that's our position, because what we have is okay. If you would like to create a new one, do it seriously. It cannot be managed, a new mechanism, in 5 sentences. Come on. It's a legal masterpiece, you know, a new mechanism, a new instrument. It does not work like that. So do it seriously. And I would like to underline, my point is that because rule of law is, how President Macron said, existential. If somebody is not ready to accept rule of law, should kick out of the community. Not to say that you should pay some money. No, this is not the case. Leave the community, because rule of law is the essence. I'm coming from an ex-communist country again. So rule of law was the basis to fight against communist regime in name of the freedom. Because the communist regime was based not on rule of law. And we said that we would like to have a Western European society based on rule of law. So I'm a fighter for rule of law. Because fight for freedom and fight for rule of law is the same thing in the Central European mind. So if somebody is not ready to accept it, please leave the community. It's a community of values as well.
You still want to have a Western. You still want to have a Western society in Hungary? You just said.
Because of the migration, now it's more complicated. The migration changed our understanding of the West. Because we would not like to have multicultural, parallel societies based on migration and so on. So we don't have that approach. So now the difference between the western part of the continent and the eastern part is obvious because of the migration question and the consequences of that on the political thinking. But it's another issue. It's not part of the negotiation today.
In this new mechanism, if it would be introduced, who would have the say if the rule of law is breached, in your opinion?
Sorry?
I'm sorry. If there is a new mechanism, if you would in the end agree on it, the big question is who decides on if there's a breach in rule of law? What do you think about that?
That's the question. It's not my proposal, so the answer is not come to me. It goes to those who make the proposal. So up to now, the European Court made all the decisions. That was very simple. So because legal procedure must be concluded by legal decision. But now they would like to have a legal procedure concluded by a political decision made by politicians as we are. Okay, it's not my idea. I would not like to attack or defend that idea, but it's strange. So it's not legal, it's political. Eurova said clearly, what counts is not the text. What really counts is the context. To somebody from the ex-communist country, that was the communist argument. The legal text does not count, the context, So we can't accept that kind of approach as a basis for a new instrument. Sorry, but I think I have to go back to my Dutch friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.